Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to episode number 140 of the Savvy Social Podcast. I'm your host, Drea, and this show is brought to you by Fan Booster by Traject, which is the world's most complete social media management tool. And it's my tool of choice when it comes to scheduling, managing, and especially reporting on social media. You can try them out for yourself for free by clicking the link with this podcast or in the description of this video. I'm super excited because we're bringing back Lana Hernandez for today's guest. And today's episode is in coordination with what we're doing in the Savvy Social School. So this month in the school is all about unmuting yourself, standing up for what you believe in, and putting yourself in your brand, having that brand personality. And I'm really excited to have Lana on the show because she is a mindset and empowerment coach. She uses her intuitive gifts to help us push through fear and insecurities and become that worthy person that we are. And for a lot of people listening to this, you own a business, you own a social media management company, you're a virtual assistant, you're either doing this for yourself or for your clients. And especially with the way the world is now, it can feel like nerve-wracking to put yourself out there. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we dive in, I do want to invite you to join the school. We're going to be starting our challenge in a few weeks, and we'd love to guide you into doing some of the things that we're talking about today and get you the support you need to put yourself out there. But without further ado, Lana, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, welcome back. Welcome back. We always like having you here. So since in the last episode, we talked a lot about your history and getting into this work, I just want to dive in and talk about your personal experience with this idea of unmuting yourself, because you were a bit nervous to kind of put your face on social media, right?
Yeah, I was nervous to actually show up as myself too. So I am a 9-to-5er. I've had a 9-to-5 for 20 years, and I got that in my mind that your business is supposed to be a very certain way. You're supposed to speak a certain way. You know, you don't say certain words, you don't curse. You're just this is my business, right? You're very straight-laced. And I was not showing up as myself or even putting myself on social media at all. Like, I did not like showing my face. So I was the one that's got all my stories is full of like quotes.
Nope.
That's all it was. And then it would just be like a random picture of me. But like speaking and being myself, like I curse a lot. Everybody who knows me knows this. I like colorful words. I like to be funny. I like to laugh and joke. And so being that person was not who I was being. And it was a detriment to myself and my business.
Yes. So was the catalyst for you kind of putting yourself out there as one of your coaches, right? Who encouraged you to do a challenge?
Yeah. So I had a social media coach, and she was pretty much fed up with me, for being honest. And so she challenged me to 30 days going live. And so, it started out really sketchy with me, like, being a robot. And then it ended up being something that I felt so much more comfortable with just being myself. And I think anybody who followed me through that challenge could just see that, I started out with being very, I had my light, and, it was like I'm sitting in the chair. It was very scripted. And then by the end, it was like 10 p.m. and I'm sitting in the dark on my couch, kids are asleep, or maybe they weren't, I was just like, I'm showing up as myself. And that's when I got the most engagement, which is, the best thing. But yeah, and I can say this, I did not fully make it to 30 days. And the reason is because it stopped serving me. So it became more of a chore than something that I felt like I was doing to make me better. Like, it was like, okay, I'm comfortable with going live, but now I got to think about stuff to say, or I don't want to go live today. I want to do some, I want to get in stories more, or I want to post more, or I want to do something else. And then it just became something that wasn't serving me in the same way. as the original ask, right? The original ask was to get comfortable. Now I'm comfortable. I'm sitting here in my bathrobe.
I love it. And I think, here's the thing, as like you said, as business owners, we feel like there is this way we're supposed to do things, like we should ourselves. When in reality, when we do things the way that we feel most comfortable, like you said, that's when you saw the most engagement. So how do you think it impacts what you do today on social media?
Um, so I'm funny and I'm just myself, and as a person who is an online entrepreneur, that helps me to bring in and call in people who are my people. If I'm trying to be like somebody else, I'm going to bring in people that aren't my people, that don't expect me to be funny, don't expect me to say curse words, don't expect me to, you know, be me. But when I'm being my authentic self, I'm bringing in the people that appreciate those things about me and that are searching for those things. And those are my ideal clients. Like those are the clients that I want. And so by being me, I'm really calling in the people that I want to do business with and that I want to be in my community.
Yes. See, and I think that's your marketing should be a reflection of what it is on the inside. And I think, we've all got these stories about buying something online and you get like you buy something from Wish and you get it and it's not even close to what you thought it was. And I think the same thing works for marketing your business. Your outward marketing should be just a reflection of what it's like inwardly to work with you, to purchase your products, to be in your services and all of that. So, if someone's listening to this and they're thinking, wow, that's great for Lana, but I could never do that. What would you say to that person?
I would say you saying that you could never do that is constraining yourself and limiting the impact that you can have. So let me start by saying, if you're doing this for money, you're not going to make a whole lot of it. But if you're doing this for impact, if you're doing this to help people, if you're doing this to make a difference, your reach is going to be very far. And so if that is your goal, you can't do that showing up as someone that you're not. You can't impact anybody by being someone else. And you're going to burn out. You're going to be tired. You're going to not want to do it. You're going to show up and it's going to show and it's going to have a vibe of someone that doesn't want to be here. And who wants to buy from someone who doesn't want to be here? Who wants to do business with someone who doesn't want to be here? Like that all, you can feel it through the stories. You can feel it through the messaging. You can feel it through the images and the lives. All of that shows up. And if you aren't being you, you're doing everyone, especially yourself, a disservice.
I love that. You're especially yourself a disservice. I mean, I think sometimes we think like, again, the shoulding comes around where we think we should do certain things and then it reflects actually negatively on us. And it's a certain energy that's, I know it sounds a little bit woo woo, but it's hard to explain. It's kind of like that. Like if you go into a store and the person at the cashier clearly doesn't want to be there, they don't have to say that to you, but they could even be doing all of the right things. They're checking you out, they're scanning things. There's just something intangible about that attitude that we all can sense. And so it's the same thing on social media, is that if you don't want to be there and you are doing something that you don't even like, it's going to show. It's going to show.
That energy is going to come blaring through. Like you won't be able to stop that energy because it's going to show.
Yes.
It's going to.
So I want to talk a little bit about the fear of being misunderstood. So for the people, there's like a fear of showing up, which is one vertical, but then there's a fear of being misunderstood. And I think, especially now on social media, you say the wrong thing, you get canceled. Um, do you have any thoughts around kind of those sorts of fears?
I have a couple of thoughts and they might be controversial, but I'll say them anyway because that's who I am.
Bring it on.
The first thought is don't think so highly of yourself that you are a part of cancel culture. Like, quite honestly, Most of us don't have millions of followers who would cancel us. You might lose a few followers, but that doesn't mean that you won't gain more. And give yourself, so a big part of imposter syndrome is like not a lot. Can I curse on here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Parental advisement. But so a lot of imposter syndrome is like you feel like you have to be perfect. It's all right to fuck up. It's all right to not know what you're doing. We all make mistakes. And once you realize that, and we all say stuff that we don't mean. We say stuff that we might think at the time, but as we grow and learn, those thoughts change. Give yourself the grace to just be who you are in that moment. Now, does that mean that you get to come out here and be racist and be sexist and all the other isms that are horrible? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not giving you carte blanche to go out here and be the worst. But I'm saying learning is a part of life. And maybe if you say that wrong thing, someone will check you and you'll change that thought and you'll think about it like, oh, wait, I didn't even think about it like that. And that gives you an opportunity to connect with the people who didn't think about it like that. So don't stop yourself from learning through this process because other people are learning right along with you. They don't want the buttoned up person. They can go to whoever corporation to get buttoned up. If they want that, there's so many places that they can find that. But the people who are looking for you because of something that you are, because you are human, because you are imperfect. I don't want somebody who's perfect because that's going to make me look bad. Be imperfect. Let me connect with that imperfection because people are really paying for you. They're paying to have access to you and the thing that makes you special. And that thing isn't perfect. Give yourself the grace, give yourself the opportunity, and take away some of the ego to allow yourself to just be you.
Ooh, I love the ego direction for this because I do think that on social media, we do feel like all eyes are on us, right? Like
Mhm.
we feel like everyone's looking at every single thing we post. That's not even true. Like if I asked you to repeat the last 10 posts you saw on social media, you wouldn't know.
No clue.
I have no idea. And
Oh,
so I think that, definitely that we put a lot of importance on ourselves so that like relief to, oh, okay, it doesn't matter as much. And then if we do get called out, we learn something from it and we can show up as we are imperfectly because that's actually what people want. And I think this comes from like this, like we live in like a reality TV phase. Like I know we're kind of move the reality TV to social media, but it's the same effect where we want to see the perfectness and the messiness like all together. Like we want to see, one image that's like a perfectly curated, I don't know, charcuterie board. I never say that word right. And then the next image, we want to see like, kids drawing on the wall
yeah.
because that's
Pinterest
life.
fail. Like that's the thing. Like, you love Pinterest, but you also love the Pinterest fails, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But we're
Exactly.
all like living in this new society of like the Kardashian, right? Or like the basketball wives where they're pretty, they're beautiful, they're in this pretty package, but there's a lot of mess that happens. And we look at them for the mess. And so we start thinking that people are looking at us for the mess. And that's not true. Like you aren't a basketball wife. You know what I mean? And so when you think about influencers, change the narrative around that. So one of the affirmations that I have a client she's amazing. She is amazing. And she's a super manifester, right? But a lot of her power is that she is influential just by being her. And that's always been one of my affirmations is that I'm a woman of influence. And so I gave that to her, but I want to give that to you guys as well, because the influence that you have, it doesn't have to be the influence that you see other people having. The influencers that you see on social media, it isn't the same for everybody. And if you sign up for that, then that's what they're going to expect. But don't sign up for that if that's not what you want.
Yes. Oh, yes. Ooh, my brain is like, I need to journal this for myself. I hope you guys are taking notes as you're listening or watching, because there's a lot of things here where we're addressing basically our own thoughts about social media and challenging whether they're true or not. So is it true that everyone's looking at everything we say? Or is it true that, when I post something, people think a certain thing or they want to cancel me? And so I think that there's a lot of work to be done there.
Mm.
So for me and for people listening, what's one thing that we can take with us to help us as we navigate like making some of these decisions and showing up as ourselves?
I think the biggest thing that you can take away is to give yourself grace to be yourself. And that no matter what anybody has told you, because a lot of who we are right now is based upon traumas that we've gone through in our past. So no matter what society has told you, no matter what, your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your brother, your dad did or didn't tell you, that doesn't make it true for today. So you get to choose and you get to heal from that. And you get to say, you know what? I am this, and I'm going to show up exactly as this person that I know that I am. And so as you give yourself that grace to live into yourself and to understand that you're important and you don't have to be out here guarding everybody else's feelings, the feelings that you have are paramount and important, then you don't have to worry about what other people are saying about you, because then you stop caring so much, right? And then that influence that you have is an influence of, it's all right to be myself. And that's what you should really be going for. It's okay to be you. Live that so that other people can see that as their truths as well.
Yes, it is okay to be you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lana. This has been very powerful. I'm going to personally take some nuggets away from this conversation. But if we want to work with you further, I know you offer one-on-one sessions. How do we do that?
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at Vision to Decision. Vision to Decision. I don't even know how to say my own company's name. Vision, VISION, not a number, to decision, DECISION. So that's where I am. Again, my name is Lana Hernandez. I do offer one-on-one coaching right now. There will be some new and exciting ways to work with me coming up really soon. But yeah, come find me because I'm here to help you.
Yes. And definitely go follow Lana on Insta. So she does these daily, like cards. What would you call those?
They're affirmation cards. So I give you a choice in affirmations every morning.
I love it. Like every time I pick one, she does like an A or B. It's like spot on almost every time. And I'm like, how does she know?
I don't. That's the universe. That's God. It's not me.
So yes, I'll put the link to Lana's Insta and everything in the description. Such fantastic conversation. Thank you.
I loved it as well. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And if you love the show, make sure to give us a rating on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate your feedback. Leave a comment and a review there. And join us in the school for the Unmute Yourself Challenge. Lana will be hosting a coaching session. So what you saw today, you'll get an opportunity to experience live in real time in the school if you join us for the Unmute Yourself Challenge in the Savvy Social School. We'll see you then. Until next time, bye for now.